Welcome to In Focus with Eden Lane.
Hi, I'm Eden Lane. Thanks for joining me for In Focus. Tonight we look ahead at the 37th annual Starz Denver Film Festival. With more than 200 films to choose from, Britta Erickson, the director of the festival, will give us her tips for how to organize your festival experience the best way possible and what it takes to put together an event of this scope. We met in the Henderson Lounge at the home of the Denver Film Society, the C Film Center. Well, I'm so glad that we get to visit before and share it with viewers before the festival starts this year, and it's sort of overlapping with the Arts Week, so it's great to be able to get them these tips ahead of time so they can make sure to buy the right tickets for everything they want to see. 12 days of great film. Now, we get to visit you every year before the film festival begins, and I'm always amazed that you always seem so wide awake because all the work you have to do leading up to it.
Well, I just took the toothpicks out of my eyes before I walked in for the interview. I have a great team, and in some ways it seems to get easier every year.
You better knock on something as you say that.
Knock on wood. People come back to work on the festival because they love this work. They're passionate about the movies. They're passionate about the organization and the event. And when those wheels get really greased and people really know how to do their job, makes me really proud and makes all of us look good. And so it is a lot of hard work that goes into a festival.
And you start almost immediately when the festival's over, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. We take a little bit of breather for Thanksgiving and eat some turkey and some mashed potatoes and some pumpkin pie.
And you're right back in it.
Yeah, right back in it. Yeah, because we hit the festival circuit starting in January when we go to Sundance, which is kind of the first brush of programming that starts and goes through right up until the end of summer, where we kind of wrap up at Telluride. And along the way, we're taking submissions, and people are watching those. And along the way, we're also tracking even festivals or films festivals that we don't necessarily attend, but we're tracking what they've shown and inviting screeners. So it's a very involved process.
So you don't have this rule that it has to be a world premiere to be at this festival. You're open to showing films that have premiered at another festival.
Very much so.
And some festivals are not like that.
We're not a market festival. I mean, we're a 37-year-old festival that was founded on the principle of bringing the best new film and sometimes retrospective film to our local audience. And we consider our local audience not just Denver. Obviously, we draw from across the Front Range. We have people that come up from New Mexico. We have people that come down from Montana and Wyoming. We are the largest regional festival in the region. We're one of the oldest regional festivals in the United States. And we think it hurts filmmakers, and it also doesn't matter to our audience about the premiere policy.
Right.
I get having a premiere policy if you're a Sundance or a Cannes, because there's commerce happening and there's buying
They're
and selling.
really focused on the marketing and distribution of the films they're showing, unlike you're focused on your guests.
We're focused on bringing audience and filmmakers together and creating that dialogue, and we're interested in showcasing the best films that have not yet been seen in the region by our audience, and so we want to pick the best films. So if they played at Toronto, that does not matter to us. We want the best out of that program to be part of our program.
So you have more than 200 films again this year.
I think we have exactly 200 this year.
Still, that's a lot.
Or maybe 250. Don't quote me on that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and that includes shorts. It includes music videos. But yes, it's a robust program, as always, and lots of exciting stuff. Something for everyone. I always say, if you're daunted by the film guide, ask a programmer. Tell them what you like. They can guide you to some place, because I clearly believe that what we put out there in our program, that somebody will find something in there that
Absolutely.
they want to relate to.
And it's really
and see.
well organized, so you can find the kinds of things that you know you're going to gravitate to. But what I do love about the guide and the volunteers and the programmers is that you help us uncover things we may not have thought to try before.
That's the other thing. I always say, open up the guide, close your eyes, put your finger on something, and take a chance.
Yeah.
Because you might have your eyes open to something you never knew about, or through some documentary that you might not have felt like was something you were passionate about, or you might discover a new talented director, which we have lots of those. Part of the beauty of film festivals is that risk-taking as an audience. Filmmakers take so many risks. It's so hard to make a film, even it's incredibly hard. You make TV every week. We want to help bring filmmakers, forward and help them with their careers. And part of when you make a piece of art and you get to put it in front of an audience and then have a dialogue with an audience and take feedback or hear opinions or answer questions about how you went about making something, it only makes you better as an artist.
Yeah.
And so that interaction helps. And then
that's a really unique interaction here. I mean, lots of film festivals kind of do that, but you guys excel at doing that during the festival and even during lots of mini festivals you have all year long.
We have a commitment to year-round, always having filmmakers in town as often as possible, presenting their work to our audiences. We do a monthly doc night program here at the C Film Center. We have the monthly Women Plus Film program. We have all the mini festivals which you referenced. And we try to distinguish all of our programs by that added element of filmmaker in person or eventized.
It encourages this room this room that we're in is a testament to that.
Yes.
You have them hang out and visit and connect as a community of filmmakers and film lovers.
Well, and that's what I even love during this time now where people are doing ticket buying is that people are just hanging out here and they're talking about what are you going to see or what do you think, what did so-and-so tell you to see, and then that energy just starts to crescendo during the festival that this Henderson's Lounge is filled with people who are waiting to go into a movie, probably have already just come out of a movie, and everyone talking about the art. And I always think it's really special.
And you never know if the person sitting next to you is one of the filmmakers at the festival, because they're not isolated. They're not off somewhere. They're attending other films too.
Yes, they're seeing other people's work, which is really great. I mean, to be a great storyteller, you have to look at a lot of other people's stories. So, and that's actually our tagline this year.
Is it?
Step into the story.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it invites the audience to step into the story and the story of the festival and the individual stories that are being told throughout the program.
When you began last January with Sundance as your first out-of-town sort of, let's see what's happening this year, what was your guidepost for the festival for the 37th Starz Denver Film Festival? What was your guidepost at the beginning of the year?
We always try to bring it up just another notch, one, we're very interested in alumni filmmakers, so a lot of when I go to Sundance, I'm definitely first making a pass through to see which alumni filmmakers from the Starz Denver Film Festival have films in that program. And also kind of looking for what the themes might be that are emerging, things that must be coming out of the public consciousness. We know that we have certain segments or I call them component pieces of the festival that we have to do and we love to do, like environment focused, so we're definitely watching environmental films.
And then you have documentaries, you have Colorado focused films.
Yes.
As you were looking across all these other film festivals to find other films that you might want to invite here, you also looked across Colorado. Tell me a little bit about what you selected to feature in that Colorado focus this year.
This year we actually have less feature length than we had last year, but I think that's a wave of production that happens.
And fewer narrative?
Fewer narrative, but we have some terrific short films. We have a film by Paula Dupree-Pesman, who's an Academy-winning producer. She produced The Cove, she produced Chasing Ice, she produced these little films called Harry Potter.
Yes.
Paula lives in Boulder. She's a dear friend at the festival. So we're very excited about the film that she produced that was directed by Alan Hicks. It's called Keep On Keeping On.
Yeah.
And it is about Clark Terry, a great jazz musician, and his student, a blind musician. And it has actually played quite a few festivals to great accolades. And I think you'll be hearing about that film sometime in the spring when these things called the awards happen.
Yes.
That film is really a feat.
So definitely keep your eye on that one if you're not already focused on that track.
Yeah, and that's within the Colorado focus, and that's screening actually at the Buell, like we did last year with a local documentary called Hannah Ranch.
Yep.
What we've found is that there's a real love in our community and within our audience for documentary, and there's a real love within our audience to support local filmmakers,
That's right.
which is really terrific because the scene is getting better here to make film. And
it's one of the reasons our show is one of the partners presenting that track for.
Right, which we really appreciate. We have we're going to have an amazing, it's actually we have 2 world premieres.
In the Colorado section?
So one of the world premieres is a film called William Matthews. No, they keep changing the title. It's a documentary about Willie Matthews, who, if you don't know, is this amazing local artist who's quite a character. He's been doing the Telluride Blues posters for the entirety of the years of Telluride Blues Festival. It's a film by Amy Knox, who made a film that we had in our festival a couple years ago about Clifford Still, when the Clifford Still Museum opened. And so we're very excited about that film. That is going to be a world premiere. In fact, I ran into Amy earlier today, and she's scrambling to finish the film. The first cut we saw was really got us excited. She's an amazing local filmmaker as well. We're doing inducting into the Colorado Hall of Fame, Mr. Daniel Youngie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It holds up a shining bit of hope for other filmmakers right here in Colorado where he does his work, that they can have that kind of career and still live and work here like he has chosen to do.
And as Paula has too, and the great thing about Daniel is that really he does mentor folks who are wanting to make documentaries, which I think is super terrific. What I'm also really excited about that it relates to locals is Davis Coombe, who's with Milk House, who's also Daniel's editor. We're putting the spotlight on one of the greatest editors I think that's working today, which is Davis Coombe. He is going to have a one-on-one that he does with Robert Dennerstein, who's our resident interviewer for the festival. Davis is pulling clips from all different kinds of films he's worked on and with different directors. I think it's going to be a really special event. Davis has been an underlying key to a lot of people's success in terms of documentary filmmaking in this state. He is actually the editor on Keep On Keeping On. So very excited about that, to really go through with Davis and talk about the editor's art. And how that story comes together from an editor's perspective.
That highlights that the Starz Denver Film Festival isn't just for movie lovers or film lovers, but it's also for filmmakers at whatever level they're at, because they can come and learn.
We're very excited about bringing our Filmmaker Focus initiative into the Starz Denver Film Festival. It's an initiative we started earlier this year with the Office of Television and Media and the Colorado Film and Video Association, where we have been putting together these educational panels that are very craft-based, meaning they are
for Colorado filmmakers.
For Colorado filmmakers. So we've brought in financiers, screenwriters, sales agents, people who really are giving our filmmaking community the nuts and bolts of, from start to finish, how you...
Not just the arts, but the
business.
The business of it.
So Filmmaker Focus really is about the business of the arts. So we've been trying to bring folks from the top of their field to Denver to do these ongoing panels. And during the festival this year, what we have is a really concentrated 2 days at Red Line Gallery, so on the 15th and the 16th, where we're actually bringing in representatives from 3 of the biggest film funds that exist. So we've really got a broad spectrum there. If you're a filmmaker living in this state, or a filmmaker that's going to be here, and you're not smart enough to go here, the people who give big chunks of money with with no expectation of return, then you might want to be rethinking.
Got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Take advantage of that panel. We're doing a producer intensive with Michael Bugh, who's also getting our George Hickenlooper Honorary Award. So Michael grew up with George in St. Louis, and they started making films together when they were very young. He produced many of George's films, and then also has been Jason Reitman's longtime producer. So
another name they may have
heard of. And Jason is a past guest of this festival, as you know. So Michael is going to come in to present, some folks call it a Sling Blade, which was George Hickenlooper's first short, the first thing he actually showed at the Starz Denver Film Festival, and that Michael produced, so he chosen that, and then there's going to be a lengthy conversation. So there's two programs with Michael Bugh. So one is the
producers,
the award, with some folks call it Sling Blade, and then the producers intensive, where he'll be joined with Erwin Rappaport, who is an amazing entertainment attorney who has worked on, I'd be sitting here for 20 minutes listing off all of the films he's had some kind of hand in, whether it's on the production or whether it's talent contracts or things like that. So the two of them are actually going to sit with about 25 folks, the first 25 who buy tickets to the producer intensive, and really do this is how, from start to finish, you produce a film based on best practices and pitfalls that we've found. Michael's very interested, he said, in teaching by example, in not always great examples. Like, you shouldn't do this because when I did this is how it worked out. So I think it's going to be a really great experience.
You don't always find someone with a successful career who's willing to share those lessons in that same way. So that's a great resource that they really absolutely must take advantage of while they're here. We don't want to lose our time before we get to talk about the expansion of your red carpet films too. Yes. So you have 5 this year. We do.
So we're at the Buell Theater 5 times. We're opening with a film called 5 to 7, which is, if you know much about French culture, 5 to 7 is when the French have their affairs. It's directed by Victor Levin. He was a showrunner on Mad About You, Mad Men. He wrote Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. This is his directorial debut. It's got an amazing cast. Anton Yelchin, Bernice Marlowe, who was the Bond girl in Skyfall. She's gorgeous. She plays the French woman. She's obviously French in real life.
So her accent will be right on point.
Her accent is perfect. They were trying today at the sponsor video shoot to get some of the kids to do a French accent, and that was being lost completely on the fifth graders. Bernice should come in and do some coaching with them.
That's right.
So it also stars Glenn Close and Anthony Langella.
A great glamorous way to kick off the film festival. So I know there's 4 more red carpet films, and we want to at least touch on those. So tell me a little bit about those.
Well, touch on them is perfect because we have Touch the Wall. Which is actually a world premiere that we're doing at the Buell.
And that's a daytime red carpet film.
That is a daytime red carpet film. Very exciting. Touch the Wall is the story of Olympic swimmer Missy Franklin, Colorado's beloved athlete.
That's right.
And America's beloved swimmer, as well as another swimmer named Carolyn Joyce, who is also an Olympian. It's about them training for the Olympics, and both Missy and Carolyn will be here walking the red carpet.
So it'll be hard to get a ticket to that. So get it early.
Sell out, despite how big that house is.
Yes.
Lots of swim clubs are coming.
See, that's perfect because you're involving segments of the community in the film festival that might not normally think about coming to the film festival. You do that every year, and I love how you guys find new and creative ways to do that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We're super excited about this. I literally had no clue because I didn't grow up as a swimmer. I'd certainly watched Missy and Kara in the Olympics because I love watching the Olympics. But wow, there's a big swim community in this state for being a landlocked state. So we're very proud to be able to be world premiering that. That's a film that we actually did a test screening of with our members last December. So we've been kind of watching this film come together, which is also something that's really special about it.
So it might have changed a little bit even if you saw it last December.
It has changed it's changed quite a bit. It's become quite a bit shorter. And they took the feedback from our Denver Film Society members at this test screening. So that's really wonderful. So we had a hand in getting it to this point of this world premiere. We have that evening, on the 15th, we have what is our big night presentation. That's The Imitation Game. That's the Weinstein's Oscar frontrunner with Benedict Cumberbatch playing Alan Turing, the scientist who...
So you know the audience will be filled with women.
Yes. Yes. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this but on air, but some of my female staffers call him Cumberbuns.
Oh.
Which I think is adorable.
That is cute. I'm sure that's some of the most innocent nicknames that some women have.
Well, probably.
And if you follow entertainment media at all, we've heard seen lots of clips, heard lots of talk show appearances by him talking about this movie, and we get to see it at the Starz Denver Film Festival.
It's going to be terrific to see it there. And then we hop to the final weekend of the festival. We're back at the Buell for a matinee again with Keep On Keeping On, which we spoke about previously, which we're very excited about. And then closing night is a film by Frank Whaley. Frank Whaley was here at the festival with Joe the King my very first year. I was a publicist. I set up all of his interviews for him, so it's been fun talking with him. And excited to bring him out with this new film he's directed called Like Sunday, Like Rain, that stars Leighton Meester and a great...
From Gossip Girl, right?
They're from Gossip Girl. Yeah. Now, you hadn't... if you watched Gossip Girl and you loved it secretly like I did, you'll love seeing Leighton do a very different kind of performance. You don't see Blair at all. Very, very heartfelt performance, a very sweet story. And Frank will be here and to introduce that film and do the Q&A. And so it'd be terrific to have him back.
From when he first was here and you were a publicist to now you're the festival director?
Yeah.
Well, it's always one of the highlights of the year for me and for our viewers. We love being able to bring them these little inside looks all throughout the festival, and I cannot wait to see some of these wonderful films that we didn't get to talk about but that are really featured in the guide. I really appreciate you making time for me as you're clearly getting ready for the festival.
We're getting ready. Yeah, I do want to plug at the end Wild and Foxcatcher because those are two films not to be missed. And they're in our gala presentation section, which is new this year. So those tickets will sell out. Seek those out because those are going to sell out before anything because they're not in a house as big as the Buell. Those are two films which I'm sure your very educated audience has seen lots of clips of in reviews. We're very excited to be able to include those in the festival as well.
Thank you to you and so many members of your staff and volunteers that produce this and let us come in and get this advance peek. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eden. It was great to see you, and I look forward to see you on opening night.
Yeah, your fabulous dress. You can find schedule and ticket information for the 37th Annual Starz Denver Film Festival online at denverfilm.org. This is the final weekend for Kinky Boots on tour at the Buell Theater. Here's my visit with two Colorado natives in the company, Grace Stockdale and David McDonald.
I love PBS.
Well, welcome back home.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How long has it been since you visited Colorado?
I have not been back in 6 years. Since I left, I moved my senior year of high school, and this is my first time flying over the Rocky Mountains. I got very sentimental.
So you've been to Europe and everywhere around the world, but you haven't come home.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Yes, everywhere pretty much, but home.
Well, welcome home.
Thank you.
How about you, David?
I was here a couple years ago. My fiance was in Kinky Boots right here at the Buell Theater. And so, not Kinky Boots, what did I say, Kinky Boots?
Because
that's
you're
the show
Kinky
I'm
Boots.
in. Addams Family.
The Addams
was that
Family
like 2 years
musical,
ago?
yes.
Yeah, I came here.
I got to learn the opening number with the dance captain for that show.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Yeah.
That was a fun show.
Yeah, that was so
Well, I'm glad that you're both home now.
Yes.
So tell me, how does a person from Steamboat Springs end up traveling the world and in a crazy Broadway musical like Kinky Boots?
Well, first of all, you just got to be real weird, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't know. I've been very, very blessed to have gotten to see so much of the world thus far and to be on a national tour right now seeing America.
And you, sir, as I look at your resume, I could fill up the entire page with just your connectivity to Les Mis.
Oh my gosh. I did Les Mis here. I did Les Mis everywhere. I did Les Mis on Broadway forever.
So how does an actor with that kind of voice end up in a show like Kinky
You need
Boots?
versatility. You have to be able to walk in and not sing Starz, but sing some sort of Elton John song. You know? Something popish.
What did you sing for your audition?
I sang, it was an Elton John song. I don't remember what it was.
You don't remember what you sang?
No, I don't, because I have a few.
I sang an Aretha Franklin song.
I don't remember what
You're
it
All
was.
I Need to Get By.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that'd
love
be
it.
good. You'd be great at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it like for you now that you have, this is not just the launch of the tour, this is your tour?
It's definitely a lifestyle change. You know.
Well, you're used to traveling.
Hotels, exactly. But, you know, I've been a gypsy for so long that this is actually feels pretty natural, actually.
Because
to
you have a
travel
tribe
around.
now.
Yes, exactly. I have a tribe, and wonderful people are on this tour.
Yeah.
Amazing artists and individuals. So there is a sense of home with this company. I mean, I feel this is a family.
How about you?
It was Elton John, This Is My Song.
Oh, good. I'm glad you
Okay.
remembered.
What was the question?
So
I'm trying to remember the song.
now that
You
this show
can
is,
tell everybody. Okay, go
This
ahead.
is your song?
it's not just launching
This is
now.
your song.
You've had enough stops that now this is your tour. How does that feel?
Yeah, touring is a double-edged sword for me because, first of all, I'm driving the tour because I'm driving with my dog. And so,
What's your dog's name?
Mandy, and she's a Labradoodle, and she's sweet as can be. And she's a good traveler. But the problem is being away from my fiance, Pilar, and my two children, who are 13 and 16. And
Ooh, ouch.
yeah, it's a little bit hard. But they're coming on Halloween.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Going to Elitch's.
Well, it makes
yeah.
sense. You have other do you still have other family
I
here?
do, yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I think
ready.
Denver is going to eat this show up.
Oh,
I think
course.
you're right. This is a beautiful show, beautiful music, and an important story, and I'm so glad that you've come home to help tell the story for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's another look at this great touring cast. The final weekend for Kinky Boots on tour at the Buell Theater. Details are available at denvercenter.org.
Remember to join us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Good night.